The Gallic Wars were a series of military campaigns fought between 58 BC and 50 BC. These wars were led by the Roman general Julius Caesar against the many Celtic tribes living in a large region called Gaul. Included most of modern-day France, Belgium, parts of Switzerland, Germany, and northern Italy. The wars ended with Rome conquering Gaul, which later became one of the most important provinces of the Roman Empire. Before the Gallic Wars began, Rome was already a powerful republic. It controlled most of Italy and parts of the Mediterranean world. Roman leaders wanted more land, more wealth, and more glory. At the same time, the land of Gaul was rich in resources like farmland, forests, and minerals. However, Gaul was not a single country. It was divided into many tribes, each with its own leaders, customs, and rivalries. The Gauls were brave warriors, but they were often divided. Some tribes fought each other, while others made alliances with Rome for protection. Rome had already conquered southern Gaul, which it called Gallia Narbonensis. This area was important because it connected Italy to Spain. Beyond this region, however, most of Gaul was still independent and outside Roman control. Julius Caesar was a Roman politician and general. He was very ambitious and wanted power, fame, and respect. In 59 BC, he became one of the consuls of Rome. After his consulship, he was given control of several provinces, including Cisalpine Gaul, Illyricum, and later Transalpine Gaul. This position gave him command of Roman legions. Caesar needed military victories to strengthen his political position in Rome. Successful wars would bring him wealth, loyal soldiers, and popularity among the Roman people. Gaul provided the perfect opportunity. When conflicts began among the Gallic tribes near Roman territory, Caesar used them as a reason to intervene. The Gallic Wars began in 58 BC with the movement of the Helvetii, a powerful Celtic tribe living in what is now Switzerland. The Helvetii decided to migrate west because of pressure from Germanic tribes and lack of land. Their planned route passed through Roman-controlled territory. Caesar feared that allowing such a large tribe to move freely would threaten Roman security. He refused them permission to cross Roman lands. When the Helvetii tried to force their way through, Caesar attacked them. After several battles, the Romans defeated the Helvetii near the Battle of Bibracte. The survivors were forced to return to their original lands. This victory made Caesar look like a protector of Rome and showed his military skill. It also marked the true beginning of Roman expansion into Gaul. Soon after defeating the Helvetii, Caesar faced a new threat. A Germanic king named Ariovistus had crossed the Rhine River and settled in Gaul. At first, Rome had accepted him as an ally, but he became cruel and demanded land from Gallic tribes. The Gallic leaders asked Caesar for help. Caesar saw this as another chance to strengthen Roman power. He marched his army against Ariovistus and defeated him in a major battle. Ariovistus fled back across the Rhine and the German threat was reduced. This victory increased Caesar's reputation and made many Gallic tribes fear and respect Rome. In 57 BC, Caesar turned his attention to the tribes of northern Gaul, known as the Belgae. The Belgae were considered some of the strongest warriors in Gaul. Several tribes joined together to resist Roman rule. Caesar fought a series of battles against them. One of the most important was against the Nervi, who nearly defeated the Romans in a surprise attack. However, Caesar personally rallied his troops, and the Romans eventually won. By the end of this campaign, most of northern Gaul was under Roman control. Caesar showed that Roman discipline and organization could overcome even the fiercest resistance. In 56 BC, Caesar faced resistance from tribes along the Atlantic coast, especially the Veneti. The Veneti were skilled sailors and controlled sea trade. They captured Roman officers, which angered Caesar. To defeat them, Caesar built a navy, even though the Romans were not strong at sea in this region. A naval battle followed, and the Romans won by cutting the Veneti ships' rigging. After the victory, Caesar punished the Veneti harshly, executing their leaders and selling the people into slavery. This campaign showed that Caesar would use extreme force to discourage rebellion. Caesar wanted to show Rome that he was the greatest general of his time. In 55 BC, he crossed the Rhine River into Germany using a bridge built by his army. This act was meant more to show power than to conquer land. After a short time, he returned to Gaul. In the same year, Caesar launched his first expedition to Britain. Although he did not conquer the island, he gained prestige by being the first Roman general to lead an army there. He returned again in 54 BC, fighting several tribes and taking hostages before withdrawing. These expeditions increased Caesar's fame, even though they did not lead to permanent conquest. Despite Caesar's victories, unrest in Gaul continued. Roman taxes, forced labor, and harsh punishments angered many tribes. Roman rule disrupted traditional Gallic life and leadership. In 54 BC, a major revolt broke out. The Eburones, led by Ambiorix, destroyed an entire Roman legion through a surprise attack. This shocked Caesar and showed that Gaul was not fully under control. Caesar responded with brutal campaigns to crush resistance. Villages were destroyed, and many people were killed or enslaved. These actions increased fear but also hatred toward Rome. The most important event of the Gallic Wars happened in 52 BC. A noble warrior named Vercingetorix united many Gallic tribes in a large rebellion. For the first time, Gaul fought as one people against Rome. Vercingetorix used smart tactics. He avoided direct battles and used a scorched earth policy, burning villages and food supplies to starve the Romans. At first, this strategy worked well. However, Caesar defeated Vercingetorix at the Battle of Avaricum, capturing the city after a long siege. Later, the Gauls won an important victory at Gergovia, forcing Caesar to retreat. The final and most famous battle of the Gallic Wars was the Battle of Alesia. Vercingetorix retreated to the fortified hill town of Alesia. Caesar surrounded the town and built massive walls around it to prevent escape. At the same time, a large Gallic relief army came to help Vercingetorix. Caesar then built a second wall facing outward to defend against this army. The Romans were trapped between two enemies, but their discipline and engineering saved them. After several fierce battles, the Gallic relief army was defeated. Starving and out of options, Vercingetorix surrendered to Caesar. According to tradition, he laid down his weapons at Caesar's feet. After the defeat at Alesia, resistance in Gaul slowly ended. Some small revolts continued until 50 BC, but Roman control was secure. Gaul became a Roman province. Millions of Gauls were killed, enslaved, or displaced during the wars. Roman culture, language, laws, and cities spread across Gaul. Over time, the region became one of the strongest and richest parts of the Roman Empire. Much of what we know about the Gallic Wars comes from Caesar himself. He wrote a book called Commentaries on the Gallic War. In it, he described his campaigns in clear and simple Latin. However, Caesar wrote the book to make himself look good. He often showed the Gauls as barbarians and presented his actions as necessary and just. Modern historians compare his writings with archaeology and other sources to get a balanced view. The Gallic Wars were important for several reasons. They greatly expanded Roman territory and wealth. They also made Julius Caesar extremely powerful. His loyal army and fame later helped him take control of Rome, leading to the end of the Roman Republic and the rise of the Roman Empire. For Gaul, the wars changed history forever. Celtic independence ended, but Roman influence laid the foundation for modern European culture, especially in France. The Gallic Wars were not just a series of battles. They were a turning point in European history. Through skill, ambition, and sometimes cruelty, Julius Caesar conquered Gaul and changed the future of Rome and Europe. The wars show how ambition and power can shape the fate of nations, for good and for bad.